This is the amazing Krakow in Poland.
If you're thinking of a short city break in Krakow in Poland, then this ultimate guide video is for you. I stayed in Krakow for 3 nights, and in this video we'll show you everything you need to know for you to have a great time and make the most of your visit when you come, including things to see, where to stay, great places to eat and drink, and those all important prices. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below, and I'll promise to undertake to reply to you within 24 hours.
Good afternoon, how you doing? I'm in Krakow in Poland. Come to Krakow for a 3-day mini break. That's the hotel I've just checked into, the Leonardo. Lovely little boutique hotel. I have done a full review of that hotel on this channel. It's ideally located for exploring Krakow. I've been told by the reception staff that the walk to the main square of the old town is a little ziggy-zag through a park, which will take about 13 minutes. Or you can get a taxi, which takes about 10 minutes. It's because there's one-way systems that go all around the city, and that's going to be about £3.50p. So, I'm going to take you into Krakow city centre itself and show you what that's got to offer. I will be doing other videos on this little trip. Today I'm doing a 7-hour tour. That's how long the tour lasts for Auschwitz-Birkenau. I will not be filming today. I don't want to do that out of respect. But I will be putting details of the tour that I'm doing up on the screen now for you. So if that interests you, you can make contact and organise that for yourselves. I'll also be doing another separate video of the salt mine. Might not inspire too many people going to the salt mine, but this salt mine is something really special. It's hundreds of years old. Everything in it is carved of salt, including things like chandeliers and statues and all sorts of bits and pieces. It's one of the main tourist attractions when you come to Krakow. So, please do check that video out as well. Okay, I'll take you with me as you walk into Krakow city centre. So, whilst we rely on Google Maps or Waze or whatever floats your boat to get from A to B, before you set off on a little town walking adventure, might be an idea to get one of these maps and the hotel. You can see all the different places that you might want to visit. Make your mind up what you really want to see. Have a look where they are on the map and then organise your route accordingly. So the main square in Krakow Old Town is directly in front of us.
Whether you are walking or getting a taxi to the main square, there are 12 streets that lead to it, 3 on each side.
Whatever direction you come into the main square in Krakow is dominated by the Town Hall Tower. The Town Hall Tower is the only remaining part of the old Krakow Town Hall, demolished in 1820 as part of the city plan to open up this main square. And its cellars once housed a city prison and a medieval torture chamber. So in this video I'm going to take you for a stroll. This is the old city. I'm going to take you around the old city to show you what all that's about, point out some sites of information and some of the more famous sites within the old town of Krakow. I'll try and show you some prices of the restaurants if you're thinking of coming here, and we'll see what we can find along the way. They're obviously setting something up there, stage of some description. Or a concert maybe, not sure what that's for. So the building in front is one of the iconic buildings of Krakow. It's the Cloth Hall. It was once a centre of major international trade. Travelling merchants met there to discuss business and do bartering. During its golden age in the 15th century, the hall was a source of a variety of different things that people traded. Exotic spices, silk, leather and wax. And Krakow itself exported textiles, lead and salt from the nearby salt mine.
Back hundreds of years ago, salt from the local salt mines was more valuable than gold.
Let me take you inside the Cloth Hall and see what's actually available in there now by way of souvenirs if you are coming to this really, really lovely city. As you can see, the main square itself is completely encircled with restaurants. They all sell a variety of dishes. You've got obviously traditional Polish food. You've got more sort of English, American type burgers, chicken, fish. Quite a nice selection. And the prices that I've seen so far, which I'll try and show you shortly, are quite reasonable for food. That in front is St Mary's Basilica. I'll tell you a bit more about that in a moment and show you a little bit more, if I can, inside the Basilica. Let's go inside the cloth hall and see what's available in here. I think it's bedecked with various souvenirs. Pope John Paul II, if you're not aware, was actually born in Krakow. It seems the exotic spices and other bits and pieces from the east have now been replaced by more traditional souvenir stores. So St Mary's Basilica we're heading to now is a Gothic church. As you can see, it's in the main market square itself. Can't really be missed. You can see it for miles around really. It was built in the 14th century and its foundations date back to the 13th century, and it was declared a World Heritage Site in 1978, as well as the old town in totality for Kraków. On every hour, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, a trumpet signal called the Hejnal Mariaki is played from the top of the taller St Mary's two towers. The tune breaks off in midstream to commemorate a famous 13th century trumpeter who was shot in the throat while sounding the alarm before the Mongol attack on the city. I have to say how clean this country is, Poland. It's really, really lovely. You do see graffiti on the walls, but there's hardly any litter around. Everyone is respectful for traffic and crossing the road. Everyone seems very polite. I was warned before I came here that there are lots of touts in the market square itself. But I've been here for an hour or two and I haven't been approached or seen one tout. And I know they were trying their hardest to get rid of the touts, so they were spoiling the enjoyment for the tourists. Seems they've done a great job in doing that. So don't be put off by all what you've heard about the touts in the main square, because I haven't seen any. So you have to head around here for your ticket for the Basilica. In front is St Barbara's Church. It's a Catholic church built in the 14th century. Okay, so my ticket, as you can see, was 15 zloty. That's about £3, and you get that directly opposite the Basilica in the office there. Okay, let's go inside and see what the Basilica has to offer. Wow, look at this. This place is amazing. There's the confessional boxes in there, as it is obviously a Catholic church.
People were happy for you to film and take pictures in this basilica, but you are not allowed to film in Wawel Cathedral, which is inside the castle.
There's Pope John Paul II, I mentioned earlier. He's actually born in Krakow. Really, really lovely. So that was beautiful, St Mary's Basilica, well worth a visit. Let's head back now, out towards Market Square. And I'll see if I can have a look at some of the restaurants and the prices that you'll pay typically to eat in the area. Okay, so Hard Rock Cafe next to St Mary. Let's have a look at the prices we've got to offer. I'm basing my prices on the exchange rate I got from England was 5 zloty to the pound. Prices just surprised me a little bit. I thought they would have been extortionate, because people did say to me that don't eat on the markets on the main square because
Food is very expensive, but I really haven't found that to be the case at all.
Okay, let's see what this restaurant number 7 or whatever it's called has to offer. Yeah, number 7 restaurant, so just along from Hard Rock. Polish and English. So Panesh again along the wallway. Gives you an idea here. So the top one, smoked salmon, would be about £7. It's more, say, fast food, but not main sit-down restaurant stuff, but gives you an alternative for an option. Got a spaghetti house over there. Let's have a wander down this road off of the main square. See where this leads us. That's a royal route, royal walking route. I think it's the Royal Road actually. Follow it along there. I think it takes you to Wawel Castle. I think. If you know different, then please do let me know in the comments below if you've been to Krakow before. I'm sure it is right, because heading down that way is the route to Wawel Castle. Okay, Don Poloni restaurant. Let's have a look what that does. I'll just show you the pictures on the main menu here. So there we are, another opportunity to see what food is on offer. To be honest, it seems to be much of a muchness, whatever restaurant you go to. Obviously most restaurants have something different to the others. Otherwise, it would be pretty boring, wouldn't it? But it isn't all much of a muchness with fish, chicken, steaks, burgers. What's this place? Bakery, that's nice.
No, I've had one already on there.
So donut is £3.
I would rather make it for us like 7 because the central station is the mall. But if you look on your building.
Yeah, so it's an opportunity to get fast food, pizza slices, kebabs over there. Or main sit-down food, and the restaurants are very, very happy for you just to sit down and have a drink. Don't feel as though you have to sit down and eat in any of the restaurants. They're happy for you to sit down for a beer, just a cold drink, take the weight off your feet for an hour or so. They don't rush you. They're more than happy for you to do that. I felt completely safe. I've only been in Poland a couple of days, but it feels a really safe city, to be honest. It's probably no different to many European cities, but it's got a nice vibe. I haven't felt, even at night time, it doesn't feel unsafe in any shape or form. I say, if you are looking to go for Wawel Castle from the main square, you're walking literally from that direction right the way through.
Okay, so I'm going to stop for an hour or so to get myself something to eat or drink before heading off to the Jewish Quarter, the Holocaust Memorial and Krakow Ghetto, and a visit to Schindlers Factory.
Not sure how I'm going to get there yet, whether it be by an Uber, by train or by bus, but I'll catch up with you when I'm there. A couple of 100 metres from the main square is Planty Park. It's one of the largest city parks in Krakow. It encircles the old town where the medieval city walls used to stand until the early 19th century. The park itself has an area of 52 acres and a length of 4 kilometres or 2.5 miles. Consists of a chain of 30 smaller gardens designed in various styles and adorned with numerous monuments, statues and fountains. It's a place where a lot of the residents of Krakow come, particularly in the summer months, to get out of the heat of the city and the hustle and bustle. You can have picnics over here and just take in the nature, basically, to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city. So something else you may want to come, just to get the weight off your feet, maybe grab a sandwich or a slice of pizza, rather than sitting down in a main restaurant. But say it goes right the way round the old town itself. Okay, let's get something to eat and drink
And head off to the Jewish Quarter, which is another must visit for tourists in Krakow. The Jewish Quarter and Jewish Ghetto are two distinct places in Krakow, and it can be quite a sombre feeling when visiting this part of the city. A lot of the buildings are as they were before and during World War II, and the inhumanity suffered by the Jewish people in this part of the city during the war is nothing short of heartbreaking. And the ghetto, which we are walking in now, was established for the purpose of exploitation, terror and persecution of local Jewish people. And the Krakow Ghetto was officially established on the 20th of March 1941. And from May 1942, the Nazis began systematic deportations from the ghetto to surrounding concentration camps, including Auschwitz. On the 13th and 14th of March 1943, the final liquidation of the ghetto was carried out. 2,000 Jews deemed able to work were transported to the Plajor labour camp, and those deemed unfit to work, some 2,000 Jews, were killed in the streets of the ghetto on those days. Before World War II, Krakow was home to around 60,000 Jewish people, making up about 25% of the city's population. At the end of World War II and the Holocaust, only around 2,000 to 3,000 Jews from Krakow had survived. The place of the empty chairs is the primary Holocaust memorial site of Krakow. It features 70 large empty chairs, symbolising the furniture and belongings left behind by deported Jews, the emptiness and loss caused by the Holocaust, and public humiliation and terror. Jews are often made to sit and wait here before being deported to death camps. The square was also the site of deportations from the ghetto to places like Auschwitz and the Plajov labour camp. The Krakow Ghetto Wall, of which this memorial piece remains, was built in March 1941, shortly before the ghetto itself was officially established. Approximately 15,000 Jewish people were forcibly relocated into a small area meant for about 3,000 people. The wall was about 3 metres or 10 feet high and topped with barbed wire. Some sections of the wall had a distinctive shape resembling tombstones, a chilling symbol for the people of what was to come. The conditions experienced by the people in the ghettos was nothing short of disgusting, with very little food or drink or sanitation. The majority of Jewish people from Krakow who didn't die or were killed by the Nazis in the ghetto died en route or in the concentration camp and extermination camps of Plaszow or Auschwitz-Birkenau. If you're thinking of visiting Auschwitz-Birkenau during your visit to Krakow, I would really recommend it. It's really interesting, really thought-provoking, but extremely emotional, so please do be prepared for that.
So I've just come away from the Holocaust Memorial and I'm just heading now to the old synagogue. The wind is definitely picking up. We're crossing the river, so we're still going to be in the Jewish quarter and we're heading for the old synagogue. I'll say a little bit more about that as we get closer.
The bridge that you use to cross the Vistula River is exactly the same bridge as the Jewish people used when they were transported to the ghetto. The movie Schindler's List was filmed on location in Krakow, and the bridge, as well as Schindler's Factory and the house that he lived in opposite the castle, all feature in the movie.
Google Maps was taking me around the houses, but I think I'm in the right direction now. So the old synagogue that we're going to, estimates vary as to when it was completed. They range from 1407 to 1570. It's the oldest synagogue building still standing in Poland and one of the most precious landmarks of Jewish architecture in Europe. The synagogue served as a house of prayer until World War II, when it was desecrated by Nazis in 1939. It was one of the city's most important synagogues, as well as the main religious, social and organisational centre for the Krakow Jewish community. Since 1958, the building has been repurposed as a branch of the Historical Museum of Krakow. Okay, it should be just round there. I'd say right in the heart of the Jewish community.
A lot of the buildings in the Jewish quarter are really lovely, and it's like going back in time when you see them.
Okay, so that's your days of opening. 9 till 5 basically every day. So the ticket to come into the synagogue was 20 Polish zloty, which was about £3.50. Really interesting. I'm going to get off now to Oskar Schindler's Factory. Those buggies or golf carts you can see there are another way of exploring the city. I will put the prices below on the video so you can actually see what they charge, but it's just another way of doing a tour of the city. They do the old town, the Jewish quarter, about 4 or 5 different types of tours. They are in various languages as well, so if you don't want to do the walking like I'm doing, then that might be an option for you. This is a really interesting part of Krakow though. the Jewish quarter. So don't miss that if you are coming to Krakow, because it's quite well good to look at and it's quite interesting. Breakfast menu. Hello, just looking at the moment, thank you. Not at the moment, I might come back though. Thank you very much.
This, like all the other restaurants I walk past in Krakow, you're never hassled to go inside when looking at the menu, so you never really feel under pressure. I have to say though that there is a really good food scene in Krakow, and every menu seems to have something for everybody.
So here we are at Oskar Schindler's Factory. If you've watched the film Schindler's List, that'll be probably a very familiar building to you.
The tour I opted for was through Get Your Guide. It was £16 per person for a skip the queue ticket.
In the Jewish quarter, where the Holocaust Memorial is in that direction. And it's about a 20-minute walk.
And I can also recommend the restaurant opposite for a great place to eat or drink. If you opt to do the tour and exhibition, you should allow between an hour and a half to do that. I won't be showing you any of that on this video, as you can discover that for yourself should you opt to do the tour, but I will give you a synopsis in a moment. Please be aware that you see very little of the actual factory on this tour.
It's really interesting what they've done in the factory. The exhibitions takes you from the late 1800s, pre-Oskar Schindler's time at the factory, right up until the breakout of the war. What the Jewish people of Krakow had to endure during the course of the war, and then on to the liberation by the Red Army in 1945. So really, really worth a visit. I'll put the details of the pricing on the video for you now. And these, I believe, are former workers saved by Oskar Schindler. Life makes sense as long as you save people.
After doing a lovely hour-long river cruise the night before, I decided to spend the following morning having a wander around Wawel Castle. And please be aware, if you do have mobility issues, it is a fairly steep climb up to the castle from the road.
So the ticket booth is just inside the castle entrance. And you can see the prices here. So you pay individually for each place you want to go into. So if you don't want to do everything, you don't have to.
Some of Wawel's oldest stone buildings can be traced back to 970 AD. The current castle was built in the 14th century and expanded over the next hundreds of years. In 1978, Wawel was declared the first World Heritage Site as part of the historic centre of Krakow.
So to come into within the walls of the castle, it is free of charge. But there are various areas, the treasury, etc. If you want to visit those, then you pay per individual place that you want to visit.
For centuries, Wawel Castle was the residence of the kings of Poland and a symbol of Polish statehood. Wawel Castle, however, is now one of the country's premier art museums, established in 1930.
So the cathedral is 25 zloty per person. You then pay over there to go into the cathedral.
As I mentioned earlier in the video, you're not allowed to film in Wawel Cathedral, but you can film the walk up to the bell tower, which, if you're inclined to do it, up a really narrow staircase, you get a great view of Krakow from the top.
Yeah, that's the view. Krakow. I say, if you just want to come in, have a look at the outside, you absolutely can do that free of charge. Wawel Tower. And the Vistula River, where I went to my river cruise last night. Definitely worth a visit, and as I say, you don't have to go in all of the exhibitions. I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of Kraków in Poland. I have to say, it's become one of my favourite European cities. It's impossible to cover everything in the 3 days that I'm here, particularly as the Auschwitz-Birkenau tour that I did was 7 hours. I'll try to cram in as much as I can, and I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up, like, as that would really help my channel to grow. And if you've enjoyed the content, then please do consider subscribing. I have done a separate video where I've stayed, which is the Leonardo Boutique Hotel, so please do check that out. It's brilliantly located, only a 13-minute walk or a 10-minute Uber ride into where I'm standing or walking now in the main square. And I've also done a separate video of the salt mine, which is again one of Krakow's main attractions, so please again do check that one out. If you've got any questions at all regarding where I stayed, anything about eating, drinking and the tourist destinations in Krakow, please do ask in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you've got within 24 hours. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.